Hi everybody, Dan Bickford here. It is time for our next episode of Carolina Rides. First, I want to remind you, you can reach out to us on social media. We're there. We take ideas for show ideas. If you've got anybody you know with a car club, a car collection, somebody who works on cars, somebody who's got a car that they're particularly proud of, and we can do a show on it, let us know. Or if you have any questions or any other feedback, you can find us. You can find us on Facebook. That's at Carolina Rides, on Instagram at Carolina Rides Official WSPA, or on our YouTube channel at Carolina Rides WSPA. There's a chance you're watching us there right now. If so, thank you. If not, you can watch us on WSPA Plus. Get the word out. It is a free streaming app for smart TVs. Just download it from where you normally download your smart TV apps, and you can watch us there. 8:30 p.m. each night. We run it every night until we get a new one. Then we put the new one up. Plus, we got all kinds of other shows on there as well, so feel free to check that out. Joining me today is Angel Rogers, owner and CEO of Selfvation. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Great. We are going to talk a little bit, or actually a lot of bit, about what you are doing with Selfvation, what that means, and some of the events you're going to be involved in. But first, let's start the journey from the beginning. What got you interested in cars in the first place?
Funny enough, it was a 94 Dodge Neon. I mean, there was nothing special about it. It wasn't the SRT model, no turbos, no nothing. Just my first car and my appreciation for it and just what I knew it meant. It meant freedom, it meant experiences, and I just fell in love with the idea of it. I couldn't really pinpoint what it is about cars that I love. It's a lifestyle to me. That's really the only way that I can sum it up, and I wanted to be a part of it so bad ever since I got my car early.
Did you do anything special with that car at that time when you got it? Was it pretty much stock, or you decided, hey, I'm going to tinker with some stuff?
It was stock, but I did do some speakers in it. I did 6x9s, had 6x9s in the back, 6x9s in the doors. So I put some kickers in there, which is, it made it pretty loud, but I didn't even have my license when I got the car. So it was just me playing with it in the front yard, washing it every day. Man, it was just my favorite thing.
Now, going from there to getting a little bit older, how did you continue to kind of blossom your interest in cars and the car scene?
Well, I got a Honda Civic, and my neighbors had a Honda Civic, and they offered to sell it to me for a very cheap price, and basically like a couple $100s. And I thought, oh, I could take this engine and put it in this car. And that was kind of my first experiment. I took it to my grandma's house, and I took the engine out, took everything apart, and tried to swap the engines. And I wasn't successful at it, but that was my next experience with, all right, you love cars, now you get to try and take them apart. And that's kind of where it all started from there.
Now, where are you, or where do you consider yourself kind of on the range of being able to do things with cars? Because, I mean, a lot of people like cars and, can do a few basic things, but, I mean, to do something like an engine swap or anything like that, you kind of need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, I would say now I'm pretty competent when it comes to cars and trying to fix them, doing repairs. I ended up doing these programs through high school, and I got sponsored by my shop. Their name was Suitors. They sponsored me, gave me a tool set, put me through these programs, took me to all these Napa classes. Then I got this job at this Napa shop, and I worked there for, years. And then I finally got out of working on cars and switched over to aviation when I joined the military. But my knowledge for cars was very, very deep when I was in it, and I was in it for enough time to work on my own car.
Now, when you got out of the military, what did you do from there in terms of cars and your love for cars?
Well, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I decided that I wanted to be a part of my community. That was the number one thing. Wherever I landed, I didn't know where I was going to land, but I wanted to be a part of my community, and I knew that I needed to use my passions to build a community. So I'm just passionate about cars. I'm passionate about mental health, advocacy, well-being. I'm just passionate about community. These are all things that have always been on my mind. So when I got to Greenville, South Carolina, uh, I saw the car scene here. The first thing I did was go to a car meet. That's the first night. I looked for car meets and I found them. And I found cool people, I found cool cars, and I was like, man, let's dive into this 100% and let's see what happens. I didn't really have plans to build a car community, but it's just kind of how it worked out.
Now, you mentioned the mental health aspect of it. What draw you has drawn you to that? Is there something that has happened in your past? Is there with a friend? Is there a particular what's made your interest high in that?
Well, it started when I was in the military. I ended up going to get some help when I was in there, and I met a veteran who was getting kicked out of this treatment facility after 3 days of a 30-day treatment. And it was because of money, and it was because of his insurance, and it was because of his money. And I just thought, this isn't okay. Like, this guy needs help. The nurses were crying, he was crying, can I please stay? And I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, there has to be a solution to this. And that's how the brand kind of started, was how do we raise money to donate so that this doesn't happen again? And I was working on a drawing when all this was happening, just trying to free my mind, just being creative. I love creativity. And I decided to use that drawing as the first logo for the brand, and that's kind of how it all started.
Now, obviously, starting something up, and this is more than just a car community at this point, because you've got merchandise, you've got all sorts of things going on. What made you decide that, hey, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to take the next step, and how do you fold that mental health aspect into it, as a mission?
So the way that we fold it into the mission is just being there for one another. Like our group chats, the way the community is actually connected. So we have tons of channels that everyone can connect on: Discord, Facebook. We even have our own private group on our website. It's like a second form of social media just for the car enthusiasts. They're always saying, hey, I'm having a hard time, or they get real personal and they'll share some details, and they're there for each other, and they go out and they meet, they go out and they drive together, they're there for each other to work on cars, clear their mind. That's kind of the first aspect that I'm seeing. But I'm kind of new to this as well. I didn't know. You asked me, how did I know that this is what I wanted to do? I still am just kind of winging it. I do this purely as a passion project, and it's coming straight from the heart. So I'm just kind of observing these things. I don't have a plan. So I would say just being there for one another is the best way that we can fold in the mental health advocacy to our brand.
Now, how'd you come up with the name?
The name, that's a very interesting question. It was supposed to be a book. Selfvation was supposed to be a book of hardships and how people got over them, so that you could find your own example and try a solution. And it was called Selfvation. Like, how can you save yourself from this bad situation that you're in? And maybe there's tons of examples of how you could do it, or maybe there's just one. But it was supposed to be Selfvation, the book on how you can kind of, a bunch of people freeing something off of their chest, getting it out to the world, and a bunch of people getting a solution and getting some experience that they don't personally have to go through to get.
All right, so now you've got a concept, you've got the name, Selfvation. What was really your first step in making sure that, hey, Greenville, Spartanburg, we're here?
The first step was the Facebook page. We just had to make the Facebook page, and we needed a way to get public events out. So that was it. We tried to do some events in the past for mental health get-togethers, like just in the park, and we have a mental health Facebook group as well. So I knew that that was a platform that I could use to hold another event specifically for cars. So we made the Selfvation Facebook group for cars, and we held our first event, and we had about 5 people come, and that's always been enough, because I've always said it doesn't matter how many, it matters who, and I think that's really important about the car community here in South Carolina.
Now, how involved are you with current car events? You said something about you don't want to necessarily put on your own events, but you want to be a part of the community?
Yeah, and I'm totally cool with putting on our own events, but the focus of this brand has always been to share other people. So it's been what other events are out there in the community, and let's share those ones. I try to be as involved as I can with sharing these events and keeping up to date with them. I try to check all the Facebook pages and publish them on our website, but I try to only share the family-friendly, the trusted events that people go to.
My guest is Angel Rogers, owner and CEO of Selfvation. We're going to talk a little bit more about Selfvation and some of the things that are going on going forward in just a little bit. Stay with Carolina Rides. Welcome back to Carolina Rides. Once again with me, Angel Rogers, the owner and CEO of Selfvation. Okay, we've talked a little bit about the organization at this point, kind of the inspiration behind it. Let's talk about what it is you guys are really involved with now and some of the things that you want to do going forward.
So some of the things we're involved with now is getting new merchandise out there. We want to build more brand awareness, and we would like to get our 2026 calendar out there. Our 2026 calendar is going to include all of these family-friendly, trusted events, our partnered events, and even some events that we are hosting. So that's our biggest plan for going into next year as the car season slows down.
What are some of the events that you guys have been involved in particular, and things that you will be hosting or want to be hosting?
Recently we had our Walmart charity event at the Walmart Supercenter in Simpsonville. That was for the police department, and we raised some money there. It was a super fun event. And we've also been involved and partnered with Street Techniques in Piedmont, South Carolina. They're an amazing shop. They've been nothing but wonderful to us. And I would say that those would be some of our favorite events, or some of my favorite events. We've also done events at Spare Time Entertainment. We've done events at Pompey Motorsports. We try to do events everywhere, and we don't try to stay in one spot. We try to go all around the upstate, and that's the idea of that 2026 calendar is going to be even more expanded.
Now, you mentioned a couple of those partnerships you have gotten up. What was that process like? Have you just kind of networked? You've run into these people? How big a role do they play, and what types of things do you want to do with them in the future?
So, yeah, it starts off as an email. It starts off as a phone call. It starts off as a visit to the shop. It starts off as a handshake. You just go out there and you talk to these people that you look up to, and you try to get them involved in what you're doing. So that's what I did. I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you like it? Is there any way that you can involve yourself? And what that looks like for us is, can we borrow your space? And if we can borrow your space and you let us come and show you that we're respectful, and hopefully if it's a local business, we can leave some positive reviews for the event or anything like that, then you're going to want us back. And then you get some attention for your spot. People make small purchases. It's just fully supportive. So that's how we do it. And the way that we want to continue with these partnerships and grow them is we just want to partner with everybody in the car scene. We think that there shouldn't be drama on this side and drama on this side. They don't want to work together. We want to be the central hub where the car enthusiasts can come, and they don't care about the drama. They care about the access to this resource and this resource.
Now, you mentioned the drama. Explain a little bit. Obviously, that was probably something that you're wanting to overcome within the car community as a whole. Explain a little bit about some of the things. You don't have to be specific with any one person or organization if you don't want to be, but just kind of the things that you are trying to overcome and some of the things that you're seeing out there.
I would say just if a shop doesn't want to work with another shop because they're competing shops, they do the same things. So if this is a performance shop and this is a performance shop, usually they wouldn't partner together because they're competing. We've seen it where vendors at events don't want other vendors there because they're competing vendors. And that's the kind of competition that I personally don't believe in. I think that this world is abundant and that there's enough for everyone to go around, and that's what we want to embody, is that central hub where everyone can come together and be in that abundance mindset and get the support from the community.
Now, how long has Selfvation been going on to this point?
So Selfvation started in 2020, but that's just the name. The actual Facebook page was started last November.
So it's a relatively new organization. What are some of the things that have been some of the highlights in terms of the car community that you've come across? Some of the things that you really, really want to try to foster as we go forward?
I have no specific goal. The thing that I want to see and the thing that I want to foster is just people coming together. I just want to see people come together and share their stories. I want to be the platform that gets them out there, because a lot of these cars and people have such depth behind them, and I believe that story should be told. There's people who want to know. I want to know, and I'm also willing to write a story, make a video, and do all these things, publish it on our website, and tell everybody who wants to know.
And what are some of the obstacles you feel you have to overcome? Because I can think of a couple right off the bat concerning about maybe one particular car group of one particular group of cars or something having maybe a particular prejudice over somebody else and what they see in cars.
So I'd say some obstacles that we have. I don't know. I don't run into too many obstacles. I try to keep the negativity completely away. And this is a passion project, like I said. So every step that I take feels like the right one at the right time because I'm interested. I'm 100% on board. I don't know. I couldn't think of any obstacles.
Well, the reason I bring that up is it was 2-3 weeks ago I came across one of the local car sites, one of those sites that usually you see people post, where the shows are going to be in the next few weeks and that sort of thing. And there was one comment, I don't remember it had to do with one of the Cars and Coffee episodes in the area, events in the area. And somebody was bent out of shape because they felt that particular Cars and Coffee was overrun by, shall we say, not necessarily classic or muscle cars. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. And it seems to me that what you're trying to do is, hey, let's get over that. This is all one community. Let's try to be appreciative of what, not only what these people are doing with their cars, but maybe what these kids are doing and getting their cars fixed up.
Yeah, no, you're right. I actually have seen that. People, there is a solution. Just take some event organization And I don't think it should be for every event, but there have been suggestions that people have like sectioned parking for muscle cars, sectioned parking for imports, and like sectioned off parking. But Cars and Coffee is different. It's you go early, you get your spot. It's open to everyone. It's welcome to everyone. I really like that. But that is an interesting obstacle. We personally have always run our events just like Cars and Coffee, first come, first served, you know.
What has been to this point, I know we're still kind of early in the game here with Selfvation. What has been to this point probably your favorite part of running this or the most rewarding part?
My favorite part, and this has been my favorite part from the beginning, was just being able to open the group chat and say, "Hey, I'm going on a drive. Who wants to come?" That was the whole point from the very beginning. And so I would say just making friends and going on the drives, because my dad thought it was a phase when I was like 16 when I got my license. I said, "Man, I really like driving." And he's like, "No, you'll get over it." But I never did. Sometimes I do it on weekdays, weekends, and now I have friends to do it pretty much whenever I want, and pretty much whenever they want to, I'm ready to join them.
What we're going to do now is we're going to also take a look at the website here. Tell us a little bit about some of the things people can find on the website.
All right, so the first thing you're going to see on the homepage is going to be a link to the Car Meet calendar. That's where you're going to see local events that are family friendly that we find on Facebook, and we'll post them on our website with the link to them in the description. And if you RSVP, you can actually earn loyalty points on our website, so that goes towards merchandise, for free merchandise, discounts, and stuff like that.
Cool. Obviously, you've got gear, you got gift cards here, and all sorts of information concerning, obviously, not only swag, shall we say, but if we hit about here, we can talk a little bit, it directs us to the other social media accounts and kind of more about what Selfvation is about.
Yeah, that's basically the story of how we started in depth. I encourage everyone to check it out and read it. I mean, this has been the most fun thing that I've ever done, and I'm not the only one involved. There's tons of people that have been behind this, tons of people who have been behind the design, the words, the website. So this isn't just me that you're checking out. This is a lot of people's efforts.
Now, for somebody who is interested in getting involved with Selfvation, maybe helping out, maybe partnering with you, what would they need to do?
So really, they just have to send me a message, and I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. I'm on every social media platform. They just send me a message, tell me what they want to do and how they want to do it, and we just get the ball rolling. It's pretty easy. There's been a couple people like our admin team who I just couldn't stop. They had good ideas, they implemented them, and they said, "Hey, check this out. I did this for Selfvation," and they kept doing it. And I was like, "Well, you know what? You're part of the admin team now." So that's basically how we've grown, was just pure interest and attraction rather than promotion. I learned that.
Now, you said in the grand scheme of things, just kind of wing it, you're kind of going with the flow here. There's no real plan. Yet at the same time, there's got to be kind of in the back of your head, kind of where you would like to see this in, say, 5 years.
Well, I don't have a 5-year plan, but I do have what I would like to see this as. I would like to see Selfvation kind of like a brand like Red Bull. There's bunch of avenues of action sports that we sponsor. There's a bunch of people's passions, really. It doesn't have to be action sports. It could be music, it could be dance, it could be anything. But I want it to be supportive of people's passions, because it's been supportive of mine, and I want to give that back at the end of this when I'm able to.
That sounds awesome. I like that going forward. It'll be nice to see. Maybe we'll see that down the line. time is, believe it or not, really kind of up here. I'd like to thank Angel Rogers once again for joining us on Carolina Rides. And Angel, good luck going forward, and all the best as Selfvation continues to move forward.
All right, thank you.
And thank everybody for watching. Have a good set of weeks. What is it? As I do this, this is airing just after Halloween, so I will be on before Thanksgiving, so it's too early to say Happy Thanksgiving just yet. Thanks everybody for watching Carolina Rides, and drive safely. Take care.